Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. Liz Adams traveled the world painting and drawing before she landed in Paris, France this last year. We chat about what it's like to be a full-time painter and some of the obstacles that come along with it. So welcome to the show, Liz. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Oh, thank you so much for the invitation. I've been looking forward to our conversation.
I knew right when I met you at our friend's little Mexican fiesta party, I was like, this girl is cool. She's got a cool haircut. She's got cool clothes. She's got cool energy. She's got to be an artist. There she is. And here you are.
Oh, yay. I'm happy to be here.
So I want to go back to like the start of it all. I mean, you paint, you draw, you've been working in the fine arts for quite some time, studying all around the world, by the way. We got to talk about that. But were you doing this even as a child? Were you always drawing?
So I really loved art as a child, but I felt really insecure about it. So when I was more of an adolescent, I kind of put it away because I was like, oh, I'm not good at this thing that I want to be good at. And it really wasn't until I was 18, I took a painting class with my friend's uncle in Marietta, Georgia, where I'm from. So shout out to Rob McGregor. And I just totally fell in love with oil painting. It was my first time to do an oil painting. And I was just like, I told myself, this is what I'm going to spend my life doing. And many years later, that's what I've been doing.
That's crazy. So it was just like you put it away, like you said. And then in your adolescence, you were like, oh, wait, no, I really like this. This is my life.
Yeah. And it kind of really came to me at 18. I feel a little bit like a late bloomer, but art can come to you at any time. That's what's great about
18
creativity.
Young. People are discovering like painting in their 60s.
I know. I love it. Some of my students are like in their 70s sometimes. So it's great. It's for all ages.
Awesome.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's never too late to pick up a paintbrush or a pencil or whatever. And so you were studying art all over the place. You were in Atlanta, you were in New York, you were in Italy, Vietnam. Talk about how these places influenced your work. Like, did your work change based on the country or the city, or how did that affect your work?
Yeah, thank you. That's a good question. I feel really fortunate that I've gotten to travel and study because it's a great way to learn a place when you're actually there as a student. So my first figure drawing class was in Italy. At the Florence Academy. And it was, my first time to draw from life with a live model. And that was just so inspiring because it was kind of following in the footsteps of what the heart of, the Renaissance, where all of the beginning of so much of the kind of realist movement happened, which is what I'm kind of a contemporary realist painter. So that was kind of the launching point. And that was maybe when I was 20. And then from there, I got a degree in Atlanta. Then I decided to move to New York because that was there's a school there called the Art Students League that a lot of American artists as well as international artists have come through over the years. It's got a lovely reputation, and it's really a school that's geared, kind of run by artists for artists. Affordable, great. Very much a community. So that's what brought me to New York. But, through the years, I've kind of traveled to Europe when I could, never envisioning that I would end up getting to live in France. So this is so cool. It's been something that's evolved in the last couple of years.
Something you were dreaming of.
Exactly. And also along the way, yes, you mentioned Vietnam. I did get invited to be on an art residency. So I was already a professional artist. I was out of school, but I was able to go to Vietnam and do an exchange program where I was teaching Vietnamese students some self-portrait workshops. And then I was also able to exhibit and kind of share with some international artists as well as Vietnamese artists. So that was also a great experience.
And which place influenced you the most?
I have to say I'm still new to Paris. So I had 15 years in New York, and that was really a gift. So I'm gonna go with New York because I really got my just kind of rigorous training there.
Yeah.
And I was exposed to some really, really wonderful teachers that really kind of changed my direction because they took a true interest and kind of became mentors to me.
Yeah.
So that really shaped me as an art student, and it's also one of the reasons I love teaching because
Hmm.
it's I want to give back the way I was given to. So yeah.
No, mentors are everything. And it's so wonderful that you're doing the same for other people now, teaching and mentoring. And I mean, listen, everybody's not a born teacher, some people are not good at teaching.
That's true. But then if people have the gifts and the passion, like they can really make a difference in people's lives. So I feel really
Yeah.
grateful for, I have a handful of, I studied with a lot of different people, but I have a handful of people that really connected with me and kind
Yeah.
of went that extra mile.
I think we all have those teachers that we'll never forget, like that really
Exactly.
were there for us and felt more like a friend than a teacher. Because sometimes when you're young, a teacher's like, oh, they're not even a human, they're just like this thing that I go to and I have to. And then you forget
Exactly.
they're real people.
I
Real.
know. I had that experience in New York. Like I had some art books that I bought. And so I knew of these artists that were so good and kind of the field that I wanted to get into. And then I actually met them and I'm like, oh, they're so cool. I was thinking they were going to be like unapproachable.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we put people on these pedestals, we're like,
Yeah.
oh
But we're
my
all
goodness.
just humans finding our way.
Yeah, exactly. Some have more money than others.
That's true. That's true. I didn't pick this field for the money. Let me just make an
Yeah,
announcement
exactly.
for everyone right now.
And so talk about landing in Paris. I remember the night I met you were like, man, I was hanging out in Atlanta and I didn't think my stuff was going to go through and the pandemic. And
Yeah,
talk
exactly.
about what happened.
I had spent a lot of time in 2019 in Paris and really fell in love with the city. And anyone who's worked for a visa knows it takes a lot of connections and time and energy and papers. So I was all ready and geared up to come to France. And then, of course, the COVID hit. And so I got this kind of extra 9 months with my family between a move from New York to Paris. So I kind of landed back in Atlanta where I'm from. And it was actually quite a gift to kind of be back where you started before you go to start a new life. So I was kind of between my New York life and my coming French life. And that was really centering for me. My sister, I was staying with her and she gave me an extra bedroom for my studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I just made, like, for 9 months, I just was on this farm outside of Atlanta at my sister's house, just painting. And it was a really good way to kind of get in the headspace to make a big move that was very complicated. I'm sure anyone who's made an international move can agree, but certainly during COVID, it was pretty difficult. So I arrived with a lot of energy, a lot of creative energy, and I just kind of was able to kind of continue my series that I started.
That's great. I feel like that's like true for, like, it was the same for me. We were with my parents for like 6 months during the lockdown and I just rested,
Yes.
and I came back to Paris feeling like full of ideas. I mean, that's where this podcast came from. And when that happens, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm wasting my time. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in suburbia. But it was actually so great, and I'm kind of missing that now,
I know.
that
It's funny. I kind of relate to that because I think towards the end, I was getting really antsy and feeling like this is never going to happen. I just am going to have to like accept that I now am staying in the US. And so I was kind of antsy, but then like once I finally got here in a few months out, I really was able to look back with so much more gratitude.
And that family time, now that we can't see them really, it's like, oh, that was really nice to have that much time with them.
Definitely. And it's really cool to be with family as adults, like it was most time I'd spent at home since I, left to go to school years ago. And it was just great to be like, hey, this is Liz as an adult and my sister as an adult. And it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. That was a silver lining of a pandemic.
I agree. I'm glad you got some of that too. That's cool.
Yeah. So what was one of the most surprising things about moving to Paris? I mean, you're like a newbie here. I love meeting like the fresh people coming to Paris. They have that glimmer in their eyes still, the French bureaucracy hasn't sucked the life out of them yet.
I know. Oh my gosh. The bureaucracy was terrifying. And I will say Paris, I knew it was beautiful. I moved to France because it's beautiful and I love the culture. And, a lot of my art heroes have lived here or lived here, because I was born in the wrong century. So everyone that I love was living here 100 years ago.
Who are your art heroes? Tell us your art heroes.
Yeah. So, I just love like the whole post-impressionist and the symbolist painters. And I also love a lot of writers, a lot of these women writers on the left bank. Poets, and then even like more contemporary, a little bit later, like Susan Sontag and Anais Nin. So I've always loved French writers, French painters. And yeah, so I feel like I knew I would love living in France. And I do, and it's even more beautiful than I thought. But what's cool about France for me is that I'm actually loving who I'm becoming living here, because it's changing my energy. Like Paris is a very busy city, so I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm developing a different kind of patience and a different kind of pace of life and prioritizing different things. And I really love that. I love what France is teaching me. I love growing and, learning a new language and
Has it taught you to slow down a little bit?
Slowing down and like being patient, like even the bureaucracy, like we all know it's kind of a crazy, crazy headache, but it's teaching me patience. And like, I've learned to not have a heart attack every time I get like a letter in the mail of some odious step I have to do of mailing some document to some place or photocopying something. And it's just like, oh, it's just another little step to building my life here. So
no, you're so good. Oh my goodness. I still have a heart attack. Every time I get a letter in the mail, I'm like, I'm getting deported.
I know. I've been terrified. But now that I officially have my carte de séjour, and as of 2 days ago, I have my carte vitale.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really feeling like, oh, if I can do these things, I can do anything.
I can do all the things. That's true. I mean, it really, if you can live through trying to live here, you can conquer.
They make it hard, man.
They do. They make you work for it. That's what I kind of really love about the people I meet here, is because they really want to be here. We all kind of worked hard to stay here.
Exactly. And you've been here a long time. So, you know the drill really well.
Yeah. No, like I said, I still get really scared every time I get a letter from the French anything. I'm like, I'm getting deported. And they're like, pay your insurance.
I know. Or please give us a copy of your, passport for the 10th time.
Yeah. I'm always like, please, I'm so sorry. Because it's all very intimidating, because when you get a visa here, you have to go to the police station. It's like, you feel like a criminal already.
It's so intense. I know. And also during the confinements, I've been here for 2. I was always worried about staying out 1 minute past curfew, or just getting I just wanted to like stick to the letter of the law, like whatever the rules were, like the 1 kilometer, 10 kilometer. I was really good, because I was like,
that was the American in you. We follow the rules.
Yeah, no reason to kick this American out. She's good. She's a law-abiding citizen.
So talk a little bit more about your art. What are you painting? What inspires your work? What do you want to do with it? Tell me everything.
Yeah, so I'm what's would be called a representational painter. So that means that I paint things that look realistic. So I'm either working from life, or working from studies or photographs, or kind of my imagination, but combining all of the above sometimes. And what really, really is my inspiration is people. I love getting to know people and kind of tapping into their emotional energy and their moods as I paint them. So a lot of my work has to do with portraits. So I do commission portrait work, and often I do kind of larger than life. I did a big series in New York of really large, like 5-foot heads. And so that's kind of been really a fun experience to kind of develop that series. But I've also, in the last couple of years, kind of been developing what I call my iconography of symbols, of things that kind of represent me, my creativity, my joy, my imagination. And a lot of them have to do with the color pink. If anyone's looked at my work, there's a lot of pink. So I use a lot of flowers, peonies, bubbles, sea creatures, jellyfish. I'm looking around my studio, donuts, candies, pastries. So I'm kind of creating a world of images that are kind of my language. And what's interesting is when I was in Georgia, I was talking about being in my sister's bedroom. I started this, or a bedroom at my sister's house. I started a series of candies. I was kind of nostalgic in Georgia and a little bit depressed with the pandemic. So I was going to be creating something joyful. And my work is, I really try to make it joyful in this kind of sometimes dark world we live in.
Yeah, I like that though. All this pink happy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? I started this series of like my childhood candies, my favorites. And when I moved to France, it was just so natural to continue that here. And so that's kind of become like I started doing regional French candies. And now I've expanded to pastries, particularly macaron, and other pastries. I just did this one. It's the religious framboise. It's like a little nun kind of looking pastry, but they did a framboise. So it's kind of hot pink icing. It was so cute. So it looks like a hot pink nun, which I love.
I love it.
So yeah, it's been very like fun to see how France is affecting my what I call my iconography, my images.
Yeah. And how do you feel when you're painting?
Well, that's like been, I feel like it's my lifeline. Like it is I do it every day. I do it a lot obsessively. I'm not a really great human if I don't do it.
Yeah.
I get really edgy. But I feel like I just get in my own world. And I just love the world of color and paint and the textures, the smells. I like the quiet because I'm a very extroverted person. Like I love being around people, but I recharge alone. And so I guess you would say I'm an extroverted introvert. And that introverted part of me is just happiest when I'm at my easel or on a walk thinking about my paintings or looking at art at a museum and getting inspired. I feel like maybe a huge percentage of my day is about creativity. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I love that. Yeah. The whole day is like, it's like a form of therapy. Really.
Definitely.
And how do you decide what you're going to paint? Like, what you talked about, your childhood and like, does these ideas come to you or how do you decide?
Yeah, so I feel like I'm someone who works really well in series. I've done that since I was in college. And so I like to work on bodies of work because it can help me really expand an idea. And sometimes I don't know where it's going. So for example, I did a big painting of some singers maybe 3 years ago, and then that's launched a whole series of people singing, which is very symbolic of joy and finding your voice and expression and storytelling. So, what I think for me works is to have several series going so that when I get kind of stuck, I can just switch gears into, we're not machines as artists and creatives.
Yeah.
We can't just, rapid fire produce. So there are moments where you have to kind of stop what you're doing and maybe switch gears into something else. And I find that actually sometimes I switch between different media. So if I'm stuck in a painting, maybe I pick up my pencils and do some drawing, or maybe I write some poetry because that's also part of my creative process. So, I just feel like the thing is just to keep going, Again, I did say that we aren't machines, but I do think that expression is so important.
Yeah.
And I know like artist block happens often, or I don't know how, maybe it's different for different people. The artist block is a big deal though, because people can feel really like, oh, what do I say? What do I say? And they get really stressed. And I've been like that too. But I think the thing is just to keep doing it, just stay in it.
Because then you start to adjust to those feelings and care less about like what people think.
Exactly. And one thing someone said to me and this is somewhat cliche, I'm sure a lot of people have heard this, but it really resonated. But it's about process, not product. And so whenever I start to get a little frozen, I just think, oh, what a great time to experiment, because it doesn't matter. It's about trying new things. And, sometimes those moments of being really stuck end up the ones that I have the best growth.
Yeah. No, it's like kind of a reoccurring theme about like the darkest times is when the best things come later or whatever.
It is. And something that also comes to mind, I read the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, which was, I really enjoyed it. But she does talk about kind of this somewhat mystical idea of showing up for your muses,
Yeah.
even when you don't feel like it, because what if they decide to come and you're not there?
Yeah. I love that book. It's such a great book.
I love it too. So I think about that on days when I'm like not feeling it. I'm like, oh my gosh, but I gotta show my muses that I'm there.
You're there. And what do you think is the purpose of art in today's world?
Well, my view about that, I feel like I'm kind of in my own little art bubble. But for me personally, I think that I really do want to bring like beauty and joy into the world. And that isn't necessarily particularly valued by the modern art world, quote unquote, whatever that is. I mean, you can see beautiful art, but a lot of times when I go to really contemporary exhibitions, like it's a more intellectual experience, which is fine. There's a place for all of it. But I also think, I mean, that Keats quote, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. And I really believe that. And that was written hundreds of years ago. But I think it's true. And I like to do work that, I mean, I do work that is authentic for me, but I like it when it resonates with people and they can, they feel a memory or a connection with something that I'm doing or saying. And to me, that's kind of the purpose, is to share a feeling and what I hope is a positive one, and help people. I mean, my art isn't saving lives, but it's affecting lives. I like to think, people are seeing it and having an experience, and hopefully a positive one. And so I think there's a lot of meaning in that. I think there is meaning in beauty. And again, this is what I love about being in Paris. Things are really thoughtfully constructed here. Like, it's a really beautiful place. And I like that. Yeah.
No, that's completely true. Like you can't help but be inspired. Even like I've been here 10 years and I still walk down my street and I'm like, oh, I never noticed that statue or that, that brick, the shape the way it is. And wow, that's really interesting, like
Exactly.
I think you can't help but be inspired. And I think it's interesting what you were saying about the art world, because it feels like more and more the art world is like this upper class thing where it's just to have something fancy to talk about. And I got this $2 million whatever, and, try to be really deep and like at the elite or something. And like, I don't agree with that.
No, I really feel like it should be for everyone. And of course it is something of a luxury item. It's not food or shelter, but I like it to feel accessible. And I think there is something really alienating about the art world and how art has kind of become more of a commodity and like a stock. Essentially.
Like Bitcoin.
And that's never been the purpose of it until, more recent. I mean, it had other purposes that, whatever it was for, religious purposes and, kind of, I guess it has been kind of affiliated with the elite, but I think there's something, we're in a different time though. I mean, I think with social media, Instagram, the way we can share, people can enjoy art in different ways now. I like that. I mean, there's drawbacks to social media, but I like the accessibility of sharing.
Yeah, exactly. And you're more likely to be found as well. I mean, there's so many artists like on YouTube or Instagram that maybe like a critic or anybody would never even look at them or talk to them. And then they just exploded. So I guess it's a double-edged sword, because at the same time, it's like oversaturated.
It is. We are in an oversaturated market, and I think it's really hard to stand out. But, at the end of the day, do your thing, do it well, do it with all your heart, and it'll find its place.
I love that. And how do you define creativity?
I mean, I just think of creativity as self-expression. But it doesn't mean that it has to be about yourself. I guess it's just like creating something out of nothing, making things. I know that sounds really simple, but I love a blank canvas because it represents possibility, and, or a blank paper before you've written any words down. I think it's such a part of humanity to expand and grow and express. And it's, it is what separates us from the rest of the animals, the way we can express. So I find it like a great privilege and honor to be able to create as much as I do. And, whenever things, and they have been very, very difficult in this last year, but whenever things are really difficult, I always remind myself, like, I'm not a victim of my circumstances. Like, I'm really fortunate to be able to do this thing that I love. I feel like it chose me, but I chose it also. And, that's a helpful perspective for me when I get in my little modes of like, oh my gosh, it's too hard.
Yeah, no, we all go there. We get in that little negative self-talk, and it's like, you're never going to do anything. You're always going to struggle. You're always going to have to hustle. You're poor. You suck.
And like, also the question people ask, well, how do you make money?
Yeah.
Well, I make it on the thing that I do every day, or at least I hope to.
I feel like it's less here, though. Like, French people, when I say I'm a photographer, they say, okay. When I tell American people I'm a photographer, they're like, what else do you do?
Like, that's a good point. I do find one of my favorite things about living here, and there are many, but yeah, if I tell people I'm an artist, their face lights up. Like, that's the first reaction. It's just like, oh, really?
They like it. Yeah.
They like it because it is a culture that has a more pervasive appreciation of art. I mean, there are definitely people who appreciate art in the U.S. and many of them. But I just feel like, I mean, the way the museums, you have to book your tickets way in advance because they're just filled. And just, people, your average person is going to be talking about art, experiencing art. It's really present here. And I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. You don't have to kind of like be shameful about being an artist here.
No, I just have to make sure the French government, so they like renew my visa, so they know I'm doing my work.
Exactly. You guys share some shame with the government.
Let me stay. Exactly.
And how do you get super focused? Like, how do you get into your flow states for painting?
So I feel like music is really helpful for that. And one of the things I do, because I am something of a, I said I like to work in series. So there's something about repetition that is very good for me. So I kind of like arrange my brushes and my palette a certain way. So there's kind of a Zen approach. I mean, I have a lot of stuff, so it's not like I'm a minimalist, but I there is the way of like ordering my palette, having my brushes ready, and just kind of studio practice that really helps. And then back to the music, repetitive music. So I listen to a lot of trance music, just not like hard pounding trance, but just repetitive beats where I can really just kind of get in my like meditative mode. And then sometimes as the day progresses and my energy shifts and I get more active into the painting, I can switch things up and listen to other types of music. But I do find that like initial, like there's some DJs that I really like that just kind of get me in the mode. And that helps to just almost, it's not quite white noise, but it's something like very consistent. And I do think consistency, now I'm not like someone who has like a rigid schedule, but some kind of consistency is good for us artists because it gives us a little bit of boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think I personally need them. Otherwise I can procrastinate.
We all
can.
You have to have some self-discipline. I mean, you're not just an artist, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes. We have to wear many hats as self-employed artists. So I think it's that kind of pattern and ritual is helpful for me to kind of really keep focused. And once I start, I'm like in it. But sometimes getting there can take some time.
Oh, it's like going to the gym, which I've said I was going to do for about 2 years now. But
it always feels great once you do it. But man, getting there.
Yeah, it's hard. And what advice do you have for people seeking their creative gifts? How can they find them?
Oh, well, I really, truly believe everyone has something to say. So I would say be open-minded. I think that's really good. And I would also just, I said it earlier, but that idea of thinking about process and not product. So, take the pressure off, just experiment. Like art is fun. I mean, I do it for a living, so there are moments that it's super stressful. But actually making art is so fun. And then another thing, the other side of open-mindedness is commitment. Like, so whether that's, 30 minutes a week or 4 hours a day. Some kind of commitment to yourself, to give yourself some space for art in your life is really helpful. And look at art that you like and that kind of art you want to make. Just kind of be aware.
I like that. Yeah, just find ideas and look at things you were attracted to.
Yeah, that's why I love, I try to go to a museum every week. That doesn't always happen. That certainly in the last year it didn't happen. But but it's, now that we can in the moment, it's take advantage of that, I would say. But those are kind of some ideas. And there are things I do too. I think it's any artist, we have to kind of continually reevaluate and kind of check our open-mindedness and kind of not get stuck in our ways. It's constantly evolving. So you can kind of join in at any moment. That's what's great about it. Like we were talking about at the beginning of our conversation, it's for all ages.
Yeah, it's inclusive.
It's so inclusive. It's so inclusive. Yeah.
I think that's great advice. I'm going to go to a museum. Actually, I've been going to way too many museums lately because we had visitors.
Yes, it's so fun.
Where can people connect with you online, buy your art, commission you to do their portrait? Where can people find you?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm on Instagram is a great way because you can see what I'm currently working on. And then, of course, contact me and link to my website. So I'm Liz the Beetle on Instagram. And then my website is lizadamsart, ART.com. So, that's a good way to find me. I'm also on Facebook. It's a little more complicated because Liz Adams is a bit of a common name. But
we can link to that one.
You can find me with the profile picture that's a painting of me with glasses. So
we'll put all those links in the show notes. And thank you so much for speaking to me today, Liz. I can't wait to see what you'll do next.
Oh, thank you. It was such a pleasure, Crystal. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.